Also, some big news in the world of sports betting today. It doesn't affect everybody, by the way, but it does affect you if you live in the state of Colorado. As of right now, the governor has signed a bill that's being put into law, legislation adding new restrictions on sports books and expanding responsible gaming measures. Essentially, can't use credit cards to deposit anymore. That's it. So if you have a credit card like you do in a lot of other states and you just make a deposit, that's out. Has to be a debit, has to be cash. Bettors are limited, by the way, to 6 deposits per gaming day. And new advertising rules are intended to prevent marketing aimed at people under 21. Also, a proposal on prop bets did not go through. That could in the future. But if you have a credit card that you use for deposits on sports betting and you're watching a company like us, that's been commonplace, but that's now out in the state of Colorado. Meanwhile, in the NBA, if you did bet the New York Knicks yesterday with a credit card or anything else, you ended up winning. They win outright, 105-95. Jalen Brunson, 30 points, but the question was, would Brunson come back in the game with an early injury? He did, and ended up scoring 30 points, 13 in the fourth quarter. Wemby had 26, 12, and 3, but essentially the Spurs really struggled on offense, couldn't get anything going in a very paltry second half of the game. Here's Mike Brown on the road win.
It's a good win by our guys. We felt we didn't play well. I'm sure San Antonio felt that they didn't play well too, and obviously it's good to learn from, especially when you didn't feel like you played well. It's good to learn from a win. In the first half, they kicked our behind in transition. They got out the way we calculated. They had 24 fast break points in the first half. In the second half, they had 9 fast break points. So we did a better job of getting back. We got to get back. We got to load. We can't buddy run because they have quick, athletic players. And then you got Wemby coming, and he can shoot the 3 or get to the rim.
Was it fatigue a factor tonight, Coach? I mean, did you think that y'all's playing against, your deep stuff against Oklahoma City and then, the turnovers in the fourth quarter, how can you get that repaired? Such a quick turnaround.
I don't think it was fatigue. I'm sure guys got tired at times, but I didn't feel like anyone's performance was based on fatigue. I think we just need to be sharper and execute better and continue to work the game and not fight it at times and play the right way.
And speaking of fatigue, it was not the best game for Victor Wembanyama, who didn't have the game that I guess everybody would have expected, but he said no excuses, just not complicated. They didn't play well.
No, of course not. I agree with the coach. And, it's the same. Every team guards differently, I'm going to figure it out. It's, I was bad tonight. It's not more complicated than that.
All right, now let's get to Friday night's game and take a look at the current odds as it stands. The Spurs and Knicks will go at it once again, and the odds makers have responded by saying that the Spurs are probably going to take this one because they've jumped out to a 5.5-point spread. But look at that total, down 4 points going into the weekend from where it was opening up in game 1. Spurs Knicks will play Friday night at 8:40 p.m. Eastern. As of right now, the Knicks have now taken over in terms of the odds to win the series. They're minus 134 on FanDuel. The Spurs are plus 114, and certainly it does appear like a long series, but if you think the Knicks can win by a game and a half, and they're up a game, you can get plus 115 on that bet. All right, over in Major League Baseball, Christopher Sanchez was the pitcher of the month in May, but he gave up a run in June. Finally, the Phillies do win the game. His scoreless streak ended at 50 2/3 after giving up an RBI single to Jackson Merrill. It was one of the longest streaks in the history of Major League Baseball, including left-handed pitchers. Hershiser has the all-time record at 59, Don Drysdale at 58, and then there is Christopher Sanchez at 50. He did end up picking up the win, but discussed after the game what that scoreless streak meant to him.
First of all, I would like to thank God, for giving me the opportunity to be here and, letting me do this kind of things. And, something I never imagined in my life that I would do. So, it's thanks to God again, and thanks to the work that we all put in here. We were able to, to make this record happen. So it's like, really grateful about it. I'm going to need a little time, to embrace this, to fully acknowledge it, that it happened. Because as of right now, I still can't believe that it did. I still can't believe that we're in this position. So I think that, once the season's over and I'm home with my family, maybe that's when I'll start, thinking about what actually happened here. I mean, it felt incredible, to be honest. There was so much going on my mind at that point, but as I said, I just tried to stay calm and stay focused on what we had to do. So, try to stay calm and focused throughout it. And, I'll be forever grateful to these fans, to this city. Best fans in the world, best fans in all 30 teams on MLB. And whether I'm here or not, they'll forever be the best fans in baseball.
All right, good night for the Phillies. Also, good night for the Dodgers. What a Cy Young Award race we got coming here. We got Sanchez, Mizorowski, Skeens, and then, of course, we have Shohei Ohtani, who threw another gem. 6 innings pitched, no runs, and he got 3 hits in the game. The Dodgers win 7-0. Here's Dave Roberts on yet another impeccable Ohtani pitching outing.
Yeah, today was really good. Today was good. I thought the velocity was there when it needed to be there. Command was better. He wasn't fighting himself as much as he was in the past few outings. Some sweepers. Mixing the curveball a little bit, but I thought he was in a good rhythm, and it was nice that with his bat too, we caught a nice lead, and we're able to kind of really not threaten much. Those guys weren't really didn't have much for him tonight.
All right, meanwhile, the Astros come all the way back to beat the Pirates in the 8th inning, scoring 6 runs. They win 11-9. Yordan Alvarez had 4 hits in the game. They trailed 8-5 in the 8th. Paul Skeens gave up 3 runs in 4 2/3. Here he is after the game on the loss.
Yeah, I mean, we can't lose this one today. It stings a little bit. Putting up 9 runs, you should win that game every time. So, doesn't feel good for me. I know it doesn't feel good for the other pitchers who threw today. There are times where we'll pick up the offense. There are times where we won't, and tonight was kind of one of those nights. It's a little unfortunate, but that's why they give us 162.
All right, Braves beat the Blue Jays also last night 7-3. Holmes picks up the win there. Ozzie Albies and Mauricio Dubon end up hitting home runs in that game. And go figure this result. The Tigers sweep the Rays in St. Petersburg. Baseball's a funny sport. Troy Melton ended up going 8 innings and getting the win. And the shift in the clubhouse, certainly after a sweep, said it was there.
This series was truly incredible, especially coming off of Chicago, where, things looked pretty bleak, if we're being honest, just with this team. Being in that clubhouse, how would you describe the shift that has happened just in the room alone after this series?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know if there's been a huge shift. I mean, obviously we enjoy winning, and it's more fun when we win. But we were bringing it every day. We were prepared to play every single day. Obviously, I haven't been here for the full stretch of it, but from the time I've been here, it really hasn't been all that different. So it's obviously really good to get the results, and we're playing some good baseball. Obviously, these last 3 games, and hopefully it keeps rolling.
Stanley Cup playoff chase continuing tonight. Yes, that's right, 8:15 Eastern. You never know when I'm going to get that wrong. Carolina plays Vegas. -164 is Carolina. If they win, they tie up the series.